It's pretty fucking impressive.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. Quite the collection, like, for real though, like.
Feel free to touch some of these.
It's amazing. That Lee Enfield looks amazing.
Yeah. It's Model T.
Okay.
So that would have been tested on the production line, found to be above a certain threshold of accuracy. Would have been brought back and fitted with the scope,
Okay.
full cheek riser, all that, and converted into a sniper barrel.
Sick.
You can see the scope is a 1995.
Mm-hmm.
The rifle is a 44, but they share serial number because of that, because they were made for each other.
Mm-hmm. It's incredible. A couple of brain guns at the bottom there.
Yeah. Kind of two ways you can hold them. You can have it set up,
Right.
and also put the little handle here tucked into this groove,
Okay.
and then pick her up.
Sick.
It's like a foregrip.
Yeah, picture that later. Holy, there's a lot of medals.
We've got our 2 Victoria Cross recipients.
Nice.
Major Mahoney for leading during the Battle of the Malfour River. He himself was injured 3 times just getting to the beachhead. Continued to lead, and yeah, he would use smoke grenades to go save sections that were in trouble. Like he himself,
Right.
as a major, would throw them, run out, grab dudes out of their slit trenches, and get them to safety.
Wow. Legend.
It's right there.
Legend. Oh yeah, there it is.
Wing Commander Birchill, too. This guy here, you'll notice he has the Order of the British Empire.
Yeah.
That's because he was on the Admiralty during Operation Overlord. And he began as a Westie. He worked his way on a ship to get to England.
Yeah.
Became a pilot there and worked his way up. Then, of course, we have our First World War Victoria Cross recipients. Phil Conwall. He was in the Imperial Russian forces, eventually moved over to Canada, joined up with the 77th Foot Guard out in Ontario. The 77th was broken up, went to the 47th, which was one of our battalions. First day, he led a section out, was sweeping through like bombshells, trenches, cellars, stuff like that. He entered one enclosed space where he pretty much just took on about a whole section of Germans himself,
Wow.
barehanded. Eventually they captured a machine gun. Second day, he was out in his trench, just covered in mud, got bored. So, by himself, without even saying anything, he left over the parapet and started sprinting toward the German lines. His captain thought he was deserting and tried to have him shot. Ran up to a German machine gun nest, blew up the gun, wiped out the crew, and just came back.
Wow.
This is the picture right before he was given the Victoria Cross.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the expression on his face.
Yeah.
That's because he still has a piece of shrapnel in his head.
Shit.
Which was then used. Well, he walked after the war. He walked into his buddy getting robbed.
Yeah.
So he flat out just murdered the robber with his bare hands. Went to trial. Got lucky. The judge was from the 77 Foot Guards,
Mm-hmm.
guys he originally joined up with. They kind of was like, oh, it's, the shrapnel in his head made him do it. Got off. He was even in the 1919 expedition to fight the Reds, which we don't know exactly why he did it.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably it was to go try to find his family, but arrives in Russia in 1919 and deserts. Is captured, almost shot again. He's a Victoria Cross recipient, we can't do anything.
That's incredible.
Gets demoted, picks up sergeant game pretty quick.
Jeez.
And then, he pretty much. Then he became a janitor at the the Legislative House.
Mm-hmm.
And the Prime Minister just walked up and was like, "You look familiar. Are you a Victoria Cross recipient?" Oh my God. So at that point, his only job was ever just to clean the Prime Minister's room and nowhere else.
Jeez.
Yeah. It's quite
the character. Yeah, I was gonna say quite the character. So is this pre? Yeah, so 1942. So I'm sure many of these poor old boys didn't come home. There's our beautiful issued helmet there.
Yeah, that's close to what we use.
Yeah.
It's pretty low on scrim for how much we usually use.
And what's going on here? So this is the
So this
holy
is a
cow.
very small summation of what this unit looked like in the Second World War.
Wow.
This display case was originally built to house this display, and this went all the way from there to there. Like, this is a complete summation. So you can see kind of the different vehicles we used. We used brain guns, we used a lot of trucks, a lot of towed artillery, everything like that. Started out with the 6-pounders. Eventually, we even got the 17-pounders.
Artillery, baby.
And we were motorized infantry.
Nice.
We were activated in 1939 as a machine gun regiment. That's why you got the machine gun at the front of the door.
Yep.
Right about to leave, pulled us back to Vancouver, retaught us to be mechanized. Got to Italy, and we even got a lot of the Desert Rats vehicles we originally got. Oh, yeah.
What's that?
I actually don't know.
Oh, okay.
Pick up the one thing
Fair
he doesn't know.
I meant to look it up the other day, but I didn't have time.
Universal carrier truck here?
Yeah, that's a carrier truck.
Right. What are they called again?
Oh, that car.
Not Samson or Saxon, it's something, begins with an S, I'm pretty sure. But yeah. Is that a pack? It's a pack down there.
Yeah.
I don't know which one, but. Tanks time. I got a lot of model tanks. I got ones I gotta build at home I've yet to build.
Yes, you do.
People are like, you gotta make these tanks. They are a lot of fun. I just haven't had the time.
I don't know if they're built that old Panther over there, but
Wow.
the rest of these were made by someone who's really good.
Yeah.
Over here we have a lot of different pieces. Many of these were battlefield finds.
Okay.
For example, these two Enfields, like this modified jungle carbine here,
Mhm.
and standard SNLE that's obviously seen some wear.
Oh yeah.
You can also see a lot of the headdresses you would have seen. You can also see pretty much all the helmets used. For example, the French Adrian over here, Brody, and the Stahlhelm. Before that, of course, you had soft hats for us, like this nice 47th. You have the German hats, like these guys. These two are a little fancy. Not really what you'd see too much, but
What's that?
another thing I have to look up. That's what it is. One interesting piece is this guy here. So this is a spigot mortar.
Okay.
So where most mortars you put the round down the tube, this one you put on a kind of a stick called a spigot
Okay.
instead of in a tube. So it's just stick it on and it just fires out.
Hedgehog.
Hedgehog, is that what you said?
Kind of like the same premise.
What's a hedgehog? I've never heard of them before.
Hedgehog is like, it was used mostly for like anti-submarine. Was the big
Oh, okay, I'm with you now.
Yeah, kind of like, yeah.
They used them for ground assault as well. Kind of made variants of them.
So our reproductions of our
Your battle on this?
First World War battle honors, yeah.
Beautiful.
The infamous Ross rifle.
Were you guys in Vimy? Was this regiment in Vimy? Is that here? No, that's not here, no. Sorry if I'm taking you guys' time up here. I don't want to keep you too long.
No, yeah, well, no, we were in Vimy.
You remember me? Nice.
Example, a German MG08.
Okay.
This was, so Maxim made the Maxim machine gun. You see the Vickers over there. First commercially successful machine gun. They even made a 37mm version of that, used by the Americans in the Spanish-American War as an anti-boat gun, used in the First World War as an anti-aircraft gun by all sides. Eventually, Germans made their own in the form of this guy. Then they lightened it, made it to something they could really move around. And that's how they came up with the MG 08-15.
Damn.
See this one here? It's made in 1917 in Berlin. It's just really nice, a little over-engineered. You've got this big water jacket here. You've got your fill valve here. You've got a magazine wound belt. This huge bipod. And you even have a fire control system here where you can move this back and forth to change where the recoil spring is. You can even bring it back to slow down the rate of fire or bring it forward to increase it.
Wow.
And this piece is missing it, but there's even an upgrade that would have gone onto here, which was basically a gas trap that would help increase the cycling rate by pushing back on the barrel too with the gas.
That's a beast. It's like steampunk. Yeah, you gotta hold that now.
Oh fuck. So that's without the internals.
She's a little heavier than a C9.
Nice, I got
Still
it.
does the same job though, I guess.
You get used to it. It's more.
Yeah, it's actually not as bad as it looks, to be honest.
Like in the First World War, the Germans did beach landings in the Baltics.
Yeah.
And you have tons of pictures of old like German farm boys. You got this guy here, and they're just firing it from the shoulder. So once you just get used to her, she's not that bad.
Yeah.
Saying out of breath.
Yeah, if he keeps it down, we're really fucking mad.
Oh yeah. That is Montgomery's jacket, by the way.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Friend of the unit.
Desert rats, baby.
Not a friend of Canadian.
She's Liz, kind of bad as well. Yeah. Interesting.
Another interesting thing to point out is all these paintings here. These are all original by Miss Mary Hamilton, who was someone who paid her way during and immediately after the First World War to go to the front lines and paint.
Wow. Huh.
See kind of the Boer War stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that picture I
That's them
mentioned
coming
before.
out the front there of the armories.
And that's the door. Right there, at least where it used to be, with the monument up there to Mr. Arthur Timlin, who unfortunately lost his life in South Africa.
Wow. Epic. And that's where they marched out. Used to. Jeez.
Now, this is way out of the timeline, but get to the toe too.
The Germans used
Yes.
in 1916.
That is unreal.
So it's a super simple missile cartridge here. You have wires that connect to the missile right there to perform basically continuous connection to the missile as it flies out.
Yeah.
You get behind it, pop the safety, look through the sight, can guide the whole system itself.
Holy cow.
Fire. It's got a range of 3,750 meters.
Wow.
It'll cover that in about 16 to 17 seconds.
Yep.
You can change the actual trajectory of the missile on the go.
Mm-hmm.
And when it hits, it has a maximum penetration of about 2 meters of steel.
Wow.
For reference, I am 1.83 meters tall.
Jeez. That's incredible. So you got two sights here. Presuming one's night, one's day?
Yep. The top one is night, bottom one is day.
Okay.
We can't see through it because unfortunately you need the...
You need the juice to it. Right.
Yeah. The nice thing is it all breaks down super easy too. So if you don't want to carry around the night vision,
Yeah.
you don't got it.
Wow.
Going to trade up the sight. That all comes down too. You can see the pieces themselves, they're not very heavy.
Yeah.
The missiles and this big casing here are.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's in theory man-portable that you can give to a tank hunter team. If you can really, if you really hate your privates, you can. A lot of the time these were used on vehicles or on mounts.
That's incredible. I mean, I've seen these before, but not up close and personal like that. So this is the TOW 2, you said?
It's TOW 2.
Okay. In Canada, we don't have any form of guided missile, right? We just have the Carl G, or do we have these? We still use
We use
these?
these.
We do use them, okay.
This one, gotta check the date, just so I don't embarrass myself. I'm embarrassing myself. Gotta put the date on it.
We're gonna have to get some pictures of this thing for show. Show the boys up at the unit and say, hey, put your Carl G away, we've got something a little better to show you.
This one is from the 22nd of 6th of June,
Yep,
2005.
2005, okay.
This would have been used by this unit in the 90s.
Nice. Sweet, and we have a couple more nice little bits here. The Westminster Regiment. What's the CWAC? Canadian Women's something Air Corps?
Auxiliary.
Auxiliary Corps, maybe? Auxiliary Corps?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And the mortar, we've got a 60mm mortar and 1960mm. Interesting.
This is pretty much a World War II mortar that we used up until quite recently. Super nice and simple. You've got your tube here for all your rounds. You can adjust it pretty simply. You can put on a sight if you want to.
Yeah.
Big trigger here where you can put the rounds down and then fire one at a time, or you can just hold this down.
Keep it depressed, yeah.
And just
Keep smacking.
one after another. Move your hand away because it's
Right.
a big explosion going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Big old smiling, bright teeth there. Happy soldier, of course. Just deploying to Afghanistan.
That uniform and that attack vest were both used in Afghanistan.
Nice. Okay. Well, I think that's it. Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated.